Hey everyone, so this will be my review on the Aqueon Designer LED shrimp tank. So going off of Aqueon's own website here for a few of the dimensions and whatnot. So it is 8.75 gallons glass aquarium with a clear plastic lid. It has a plant aquarium clip-on LED lighting system that does both daytime and nighttime. So you have like what it is now, which is it has the whites and the blues on, and you can also turn them to where it's only the blues on by themselves, or you can turn it off, of course. Get to that more in a moment here, of course. In the so then you also get a Quiet Flow 20 shrimp filter, preloaded with replaceable medium carbon cartridge. Again, I'll show that off a bit later. I want to get past this part here. It comes with 10 pounds of the plant and shrimp substrate, which are actually pretty cool. They're like a little, they almost look like little chocolate Dippin' Dot ice cream. So I mean, I wouldn't actually want to eat one. Probably wouldn't taste like Dippin' Dots. But yeah, but that's what it kind of looks like to me. And of course, it comes with a water conditioner sample and then the aquarium setup guide. Dimensions, according to Aqueon, are 18.25 by 12 by 13 inches. So length, width, height. Of course, at the top there where it's slanted is a little bit different from those dimensions. So I'm going to take this off of my tripod. And we're going to start from the top. We're going to go down to the bottom. I'll give you my thoughts and whatnot on this tank. So you see here, I've had this tank set up since April 6th of this year, which is 2019. Today is July something, 17th, I think. Yes, July 17th. So April, May, June, July. It's about 3 months or so I've had this tank set up for, almost. Yeah, about 3 months. It's actually doing pretty good. I have a few issues with it, and I'll get to those. Want to get to those. So we're gonna start at the top here. So we'll start with the light. The light is pretty cool. It is metal. It is not plastic or anything like that. It is actually metal. Again, you have 3 settings. So you have what's on now, which is daytime. So it has the whites and the blues on. And it has a touch-sensitive button here. So touch it, it turns to blue. At nighttime, it's very cool. My window is open, and you can actually see it. Well, sort of see in the video. In real life, it looks a lot better, of course. Sorry about all the glare there, but it's actually pretty bright. And then that's just for the blues. And then of course you have off. With the daytime's on, it's very bright. I mean, you can really see the coloring, the brightness from the lights during the daytime, even with my window open. So it's a very nice light. Again, this is the plant one, and you can see it is growing my plants just fine. The grass in the middle is dying. It never really was 100% alive, I don't think, but it is still dying. That is a little bit on a harder side to take care of, I believe. You see I have these, they are the lily pads. I can never say that word. They are growing ridiculously. I think they have actually, I don't know what the right word for it is, but bred. I know that's not the right word. But they have taken over the entire top of my tank, and I actually have to get rid of some. Yeah, they're just going nuts in here. And I have Anubis and a few other things in here. They're growing fantastically. I think this is the best I've ever had any live plants grow for me. Other tanks that do okay. This tank is just doing fantastic. See how nice and green they are, bright green they are. They're all, for the most part, alive, which is really cool. Then I also have some... well, yeah, you see, these are all like the lily pads. They're just growing like nuts. They're really cool looking, but they're kind of overtaking my tank. And then I just have some white clouds in here. And then I also have 2 of the Mexican dwarf crayfish. I had shrimp in here. Shrimp did not seem to stay alive for me for some reason. They just kept on dying, so I got rid of, well, didn't get any more of them and got the crayfish, and then put the white clouds in from my pachyderm. So, like I said, the top here is plastic. What's actually really cool about this top, though, is where the cutouts are. Is very cool. So we cut out here for the filter, and then you have one for the light, and you also put other cords through there. And if you flip it over, you can have the filter on the other side. So whatever side you want the filter on, just flip the top here over, and you are good to go. And that is just plastic. The rest of this, like I said, is glass. And actually you can see here, well, hopefully you guys can sort of see here. This part is actually separate from the rest of the tank. There's another separate piece. It's really cool. I'll show off the side here when we get down to that. But it's a really cool design in my opinion. Next is the filter. I'm having some issues with it, as you can hear. So the last few days I started doing this. The problem is you cannot get to the pump itself. It's all kind of fixed in the filter. So you can't get to like the impeller or anything like that. So we're just kind of sitting here chugging. The other day the water was up to here and almost overflowing. Now it's way below her. So I might be getting rid of this filter. But now this is the shrimp one. So the difference with that is it actually came with another biological filter in the back here. And then of course it has the normal cartridge, has the normal biological part up front. Then if you guys can see in there, that little insert, there's actually another filter that's in there that is supposed to prevent baby shrimp and baby fish from getting sucked into it. Kind of problem with it, as you can sort of see, is it sucks in a whole bunch of other stuff, and that stuff does not go into the filter. It just gets stuck to the intake, which I think kind of blocks the intake a bit. For the few months I've had this tank set up, it's been very good, except for when people accidentally turned it off on me. That's a different issue. But the filter's been really good until maybe 3 or 4 days ago. I mean, it's still pumping and stuff. It just makes a bunch of noise and it's not pumping nowhere near as well as it should. Part of that might be my fault. I really don't know. But there's that. Another issue I'm actually having with this tank is, as you guys see here, is the slime algae again. Had this issue with other tanks in the past, and I'm getting it again in this tank, which is apparently from too much light. Again, this light is pretty strong. Even with the plants in there, I'm still getting it, but it's from too much light and probably too much nutrients. So that's a bit of an issue I'm having too. So then let's get to the body of the tank here. So you can see the sloping design here. That is the main feature of this tank. It's very freaking cool, if you ask me. Then you have the black silicone here. It just all goes so well together. And underneath here, there is a black stand. Of course, you cannot see that unless you're actually looking for it. But it's pretty cool too. And then the light itself is also black. The filter is also black. I just like it all. So one complaint I have read online is that they did not like the way this is. And what they did not like about it is, sort of see on mine too, like here little bits of the black comes through, here it doesn't. It just isn't very flush. It's not like perfected. Again, so little bits of black comes through, then it goes away and then it comes through. And then also on the other side, it just isn't the most streamlined of ways that they could have done this. And then this kind of sticks over a little bit in some spots and not in other spots. It just kind of, it's just not put on as perfectly as it could have been for being called a designer. Doesn't bother me, but it was what one person did not like about it on Amazon. And I think it was like the only review on Amazon at the time that I looked that up. Again, I mean, to me, I don't really notice it until the guy said that and I read that. But it could bother you. It just doesn't me. I mean, unless I'm really looking at something to be bothered by. But I guess keep that in mind. If little tiny details like that bother you. But again, me, they do not. Getting back to the sloping the glass here. So that is, again, the main feature of this tank. So it gives you a different view of a tank. So instead of just looking into it like that, you can look down on your shrimp or fish in here, and it's pretty cool. So you can see like the tops of your fish and stuff. It'd be better if I didn't have all these plants up here and algae up here and stuff, but it is really cool still. So you can see my white clouds down there swimming. Yeah, it just gives you a different perspective of looking into a fish tank. It's just really cool. Not something you see on most tanks. Alright, then let's talk a little bit about the plant and shrimp substrate here. So again, this is supposed to be substrate that is good for growing plants. It seems to be working pretty well for me, except for this dwarf grass here that is kind of dying. I need to get rid of it. But everything else in here is growing very well. Even underneath all the lily pads that are taking over the top. My Anubis and I think it's Java Fern, again not the best with plants, are growing just fine. My little crayfish are doing well in here. I've had them for a week or two now, I want to say. White clouds seem to be doing okay in here. Again, they're all pretty hardy things in here. Then I also have some snails in here that are doing just fine. So everything I have in here is doing just fine. Again, this substrate to me looks like Dippin' Dots ice cream. Again, it probably just doesn't taste like it. And I'm not about to give that a try. But it seems to be doing its job just fine. I don't think I've used any sort of fertilizer in here whatsoever. Maybe once or twice. Liquid stuff that I've had from years ago. And just have not used up yet. But I don't think I actually have done it yet. And it's still doing my plants very well. Again, that also goes along with the LED plant life. I just have to reduce my lighting because of all this slime algae that's on here. So I really do like this tank. It's very cool. Again, it's a very different design. I love tanks that have different designs to them. I kind of spice up the boring rectangular look. I mean, without this, it'd be pretty much just a rectangle again. It just came up and over. It'd be just rectangle. But they made it different, and I really do like that. Yeah, so again, I'll just go over what I have in here. So I have some Anubis, I have some Java Fern, I have the, I think they're called Dwarf lily pads. Something like that. Again, I'm not very good with plants. In the middle there is a type of dwarf grass. Then I have some white cloud minnows, which I absolutely love. They are very fun to watch. They're also cheap to buy. They're usually somewhere around $1 to $2, something like that each. Very cheap. And I have two of the Mexican dwarf crayfish in here. I do not get much bigger than that, which is really cool as well. Then I also have some nearite snails in here that I've had in here since pretty much the beginning. Then I also have some, I think it's called duckweed, which is another type of plant. It's just those little green guys. So, and there's a closer look at the lily pads. Which again, I need to kind of get rid of some of them because they just propagated so much. I think I only started out with a few of them, and now they're everywhere. Yeah. So again, you get with this tank, you get this nice Aqueon LED plant light that has daytime, nighttime, and off settings. You get the shrimp Aqueon Quiet Flow 20 that comes with that extra little intake sponge filter over it, so it does not suck up baby shrimp or baby fish or anything like that. You get the very cool design. You get the 10 pounds of shrimp and plant substrate. Yeah. And I will leave a link for in the description for where to buy this tank as well, of course. Again, I got mine from a pet store that my brother works for, so I got it for probably cheaper than what you will be able to find it for online. Just because we get good discounts on them. So, alright guys, thank you all very much for watching. Hopefully I did not ramble on too much there. Hope you guys have yourselves a good day. Oh, and I do recommend this tank. I give it 8 out of 10 stars. One more quick thing to note is because of this, it is somewhat hard to get in and clean it. Just because it's harder to get your arm into down here because of this is not movable. Of course, you cannot remove that. Someone gets in your way. Just a very quick note there. Actually, a pretty important note there that I forgot to mention earlier. But I do recommend it. I'd probably give about an 8 out of 10, 7.5, 8 out of 10 for the few flaws I mentioned. Alright guys, thank you all very much for watching. Hope you guys have a good one. Goodbye.